You know how that goes on.
The debate has already started here in the kitchen. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where we are trying some of the most popular trends found online. Now, Chef Chart, you're trying to convince me, but I ain't convinced. I ain't convinced. Now, listen to this one, Mzansi. 2022 is bringing so many new trends, and one such a trend is potato milk. It's taken center stage, and today we're going to be showing you how to make your very own batch. Aye. Okay, listen, I came with my big girl socks on. I am going to try a batch, but first, let us talk through how to create this masterpiece.
Masterpiece, right? I think, you know, that's one thing I think I'm leaning towards you as well, Palesa, with the trends. You know, there's some trends where I feel like I'm not too sure about it, but let's give it a try and see how it goes. So it starts off with our potatoes, because we're making potato milk. And one of the most important things to note is when you cook your potatoes, I always start them with cold water and then let them come up to temperature. But one very important thing to add in there is salt. And I know people are shocked at why we would add salt, but obviously the type of milk we're using here, if we're going to make it, ideally we would say you perhaps want to use it in stuff like your coffees, because you know if you add a touch of salt to your coffee, it makes it go a long way and it tastes like extra good. So it starts off, I'm going to cut up some potatoes, let them cook down, and then Chef, you're going to tell us what other ingredients actually go into making this actual potato.
Well, just a quick tip actually, whilst you're talking about, you know, putting into cold water. Remember, South Africa, anything that grows below the ground, into cold water. Halfway up, warm water. Anything that grows above the ground that's green, put into boiling water. There we go. Anyway.
You see, it's a masterclass. I hope you're taking down your notes. This 2022, we came through with all of the knowledge. I'm here for it.
Indeed, right. So potatoes that have been cooked, but you don't want them to go mush. Yeah. So they mustn't be overcooked. You literally you actually don't want to, the whole objective in trying to understand all of this now is you don't want to break it down completely. This is why they're saying, you know, people are like, oh, well, it's carbs and all the rest of it. Actually, so you're not changing the entire structure of the potato as you would when you're doing mashed potatoes or roast potatoes or anything like that at all. So again, not so it's like really sort of cooked down. And then a little bit of honey. So you get a little bit of that into there just to sort of sweeten up the deal. And then almonds to help with the consistency. So, you know, is this really going down, you know, potato flavor, or has it been enhanced by almonds? Anyway, that's another little debate.
Try it at home and let us know.
Exactly, a little bit more water in here. So I'm just halving everything in just to fit into this here. And then the cooking liquor as well from the potatoes. So what you're going to do is you strain it off, allow it to cool, and then you've got your potato liquor, and then you've got your potatoes on the side there. So when you actually take the recipe, just follow the recipe. And then you just pour a little bit of that into there, just like that.
And obviously, should someone not want to use the honey for that additional flavor, you can still keep it as natural without adding the honey.
Absolutely.
It's just to give you that, you know when you've tasted almond milk.
Yeah, it just needs a little sort of, you know, off there. Or just use normal sugar if you haven't got any honey or some golden syrup. There's lots of alternatives.
Palesa, your face is not encouraging at all.
Look, and it just comes milk, you know, that's it.
Okay, now, the both of you have done an incredible job. You've really done an incredible job of talking us through it, selling it, and I'm almost buying what you're selling. My next question is, with normal milk and some of the other milk alternatives, we can freeze. Can you freeze potato milk?
It is advisable not to. It is advisable not to. In fact, with this type of milk, I'd say the shelf life is about 3 days, whereas with the other milks, you can keep it for longer. So maybe a suggestion would be if you are going to try out the potato milk, make sure you're going to be using it in the next 3 days versus keeping it. Because we also know that with potatoes, after a while, they do turn brown. So you don't want to be stuck with that mixture that also doesn't look too appealing and too inviting. So rather, you make it if you're going to be indulging in it as soon as possible.
Oxidization.
Oxidization. That's the English term for it.
That's why it'll actually go, you know, it starts to discolor. And then obviously, you got to be careful because obviously the sugar there, it can ferment as well. So, you know, there. But I mean, there you go. That is that. And you can store it in some little bottles or whatever. And that's your potato milk for 2022.
Chef Chart, you've already strained it out. That is just, what else could we do with maybe some of that pulp left over?
Well, I guess, you know, that pulp at the end of the day could make some very famous chips that we all know that we like in a tubular consistency. But that's what they actually end up doing, is that will go and get reused. So again, starting to think of like a trend of 2022, reusing the waste products, you know? Let's face it, 9 times out of 10 we'll chuck that out. So you're onto it already, girl.
Now, Chef Chart, you know I'm always the taste tester here at Afternoon Express. But I thought in 2022, new year, new me, new opportunities.
New opportunities, I think it's great.
Chef Chart, do you want to give us a taste of this, a very baby taste? A very baby taste. And then let us know Let's just say, let us know.
Let me tell you, South Africa, the war is on with Tumi and Pali for 2022. But anyway,
Putting you on the spot. How is that?
delicious. It's unusual.
Okay.
Yeah?
Different.
It's unusual. So,
Takes some getting
you know,
used to.
you've got that potato. So it's like a sort of a watered down version of a porridge, I guess.
Yeah.
That's sort of describing the potato flavor. The honey helps.
Okay.
Guys, the honey helps, makes a big difference. It really balances out because, you know, you're starting to get that, you don't get that sort of, that floury kind of sort of consistency coming through.
And I think this would work exactly for dishes like, you know, if you're making your cheese sauces and stuff like that. You could definitely use it in dishes like that because it also, with that thickening in it, it would definitely work very
I think you're
well.
onto something there. The thickening counterparts of what this can do, I think, is going to be a great thing. I mean, like a soup, for instance, you know, you put potatoes in there because it actually helps as a thickener. And I think that's where this is going to really end up
Change the
starting to go, of adding this into, you know, like a condiment of sorts, you know, that, you know, a sauce or something. I think that structure is going to really work where you're starting to look after the environment and doing something weird and wonderful. But hey ho, that's what
Yeah,
it's about.
well, if you are looking for a lactose intolerant, packed with nutrients, alternative, we gotcha. I mean, they did say potato, but if you would like to get your hands on this recipe, head over to afternoonexpress.co.za to get the full ingredients list so you can make your own batch at home. I love it. What a team sport. Thank you so much, Chef Charles. What a team player. Now, a crisp, buttery Yorkshire pudding embodied with a crisp-skinned sausages. Toad in a Hole is a British classic and a Mzansi favorite. This is going to be a recipe we're going to be trying when we return.